Good afternoon, everybody. I am Dr. Radhishyam and I am going to present my paper on wrongful conviction and need of reform in criminal justice in India. Before going in detail, there are several discourses has been held on section 498E, which is the glaring example of your wrongful conviction or wrongful prosecution, you can say. So I will not touch that part. Mainly I will be discussing the role of media in highlighting the personality of some people to the greatest extent. You might be aware that recently Ram Rahim case in media, it was shown in TV channels, it was shown around, I think it is more than a month. What was the vulgarity in that? You might be aware of it. Similarly, Asaram case, once he has been made accused, why so much importance? He accused means he is accused. Similarly, Salman Khan case, Black Buck, it took 20 years. Still, court is not able to know that who is the killer. This is the mockery of our system. Our judges, they are not getting due support from the administrative wing of our criminal justice system. Similarly, there is one more case. It was highlighted, RC murder case. The saga of RC murder case, you all are well aware. Different story it has been said from beginning to till date. Finally, due to lack of evidence, the father and mother parents of Arusi, they have been acquitted by the Allahabad High Court. But still it is sub judice. So these are the some glaring example of wrongful prosecution. So I will start with that. First, let me say a few things about wrongful conviction. In adversarial system, since we are following, accused is presumed innocent till his guilt is not proved. But at the primary stage, if the magistrate came to know that there is no prima facie evidence, there can be discharge. There can be acquittal also. But if trial takes place due to or on the basis of any false evidence or any vexatious ground, and finally the accused is acquitted, then there is a process of your stigmatization. It may be social, it may be his personal capacity, it may be social, mental, psychological, and everything. So, accused may be made frivolous or maliciously by his rival or rivals or by police by fabricating some false evidence. It is very easy tool to bring a person down. So, in other way, we can say it is a one sort of miscarriage of justice. Wrongful prosecution is in civil wrong, it is known as malicious prosecution. Law taught, you might be aware, it is a practice of filing civil as well as criminal proceeding, which has neither substantial value nor for getting any genuine relief, but intended to injure the defendant, to bring him down. It might be for the bringing the person to a negotiation table or to take revenge of some egoistic clash. Misuse of section 498A of the Indian Penal Code is a glaring example. It is an abuse of the process of the court and media without knowing, without the actual trial take place due process of the law is not being followed, and they are airing all these episodes, several episodes. So basically I have focused on this media trial and in wrongful prosecution. So let us see some impacts of wrongful prosecution. If the guilt is not proved, he will be either discharged or acquitted. It is the mandate of the CRPC. Sometimes there may be inordinate delay in arriving at such conclusion by the court. This may result into loss of reputation of such person, which is very difficult to recover. And if it is lost, everything is lost. Punishment in IPC section 211 is relevant, which is also closely related with the defamation, that is section 511. Punishment is 2 years or with fine or with both. But if the charges are framed where there is a life imprisonment or there may be capital punishment, then in that case punishment is more. That may be up to your 7 years or with fine. But the criminal law does not provide any compensation to the victims for the malicious prosecution except section 357A, which is general in nature. Already I have said, portrayal of RC murder case. In early stage there was a story that there was some relation between RC and Hemraj, the domestic servant. Then after that a new story came that Hemraj, the father of the RC, he has some illicit relationship with some other lady, and this fact was known to RC and Hemraj. So what he did to stop all these things, he has cleared everything. He has killed RC, and now there was another story that yes, some other domestic servants, they tried for sexual assault of RC, and after that when they failed, they killed. So no, several story without going, once it is in the court of law, why media are showing all these stories? This is my concern. Then similarly, Salman Khan case, already discussed. Asaram, Ram Rahim case. See the love story. Guru and Chelain. The story देखिए आप लोगों ने देखा होगा. Not only on a single TV channel, several channels. Now coming to the conclusion.
राम रहीम डेरा और राम रहीम ओनली, वो दूसरा है.
नहीं, उसी डेरा का राम रहीम हेड था. Now, conclusion, already I have said that there should be some check and balance in reporting of all these stories and airing all this episode in television or some other media. So media censorship is required. So how it will be? It is again, we have to think over that. Second, provide effective platform for communication between parties. It is especially two parties where two parties are involved. There was an allegation, then there was a prosecution, conviction, lead into your discharge or acquittal of that person accused. So before that, a effective platform should be provided to both the parties for the communication. I am very glad that yesterday, whatever I had thought, it has been duly and nicely it was delivered by Pandey sir as well as other speakers of the that particular session. Now, remedies to victim of wrongful prosecution. There should be some provision in your CRPC. Of course, there is 357A, but since it is a stigma to that person or to that party, so there must be some separate provision, what I feel. Next is Reform in administrative viewing of the court. That includes infrastructure, number of judges, and also less adjournments. Speedy trial is also required. If there is a delay, the person will get defamed accordingly. Last but not the least, enhance the punishment in section 211 of your IPC. Here my submission is that it should be made cognizable offence. Punishment should be increased by 2 to 3 years. Thank you very much.
We have the last presentation, Dr. Afkar Ahmed, Assistant Professor UPES Dehradun. Is again this continuation of use of poetic titles. Yes, it's a very interesting. Rescued by state, yet accused by society. Yes, this is on women getting victimized after rescued from trafficking network. Yes.
Good afternoon to all, and my topic which has already been said by sir. Actually, when we see this particular topic, you are getting that we will talk regarding this victimization. So actually that right to life is a very important aspect, and you know that it is invaluable right for every human being, and it is one of the basic human rights, but the same is being violated by numerous ways, and trafficking is one of them. Actually it is one of the worst forms of human rights violation, and it is one of the worst form which has a hydra-headed problem, and it is also called the bags of crimes, because number of crimes takes place by this trafficking, and no doubt there are number of international and national mechanisms to tackle these issues, but the problem is not in the same way, although certain thing has happened in the recent days, but this problem is still existing in every part of the world. No country can claim that we are free from this, because there are the USA release in every year, there are certain tier system is there is an international mechanism. When we talk about the India, you will find that we have the constitution where Article 23 is talking about this prohibition of trafficking and forced labor. And so far as the only one law, a specific law is there with regard to that, that is the Immoral Trafficking Prevention Act. In the year 1956, it was called CETA, now it is IPPA, and that is tackling with these particular issues. But we will find that this act, and there are other provisions are there in IPC, we will find that there are number of sections which is dealing with the related issues, selling and purchasing of this child and other compulsory, unlawful compulsory labor like that. These sections are there in IPC. There are certain other acts are there, Indecent Representation of the Women Act and this Child Labor Act. There are a number of acts are there with regard to which is touching this portion of trafficking. Here we are concerned about that this number of acts and this constitutional provision is there. So the problem is that if the woman has been rescued from this trafficking network, so what is her condition? Because the act is talking about the number of things pertaining to that, but the problem lies there whether rehabilitation is properly taking place or not. And I have seen that during my number of works I met with an NGO, then they are doing very well in actually there are certain trafficking prone areas, especially like Bihar, Jharkhand and Orissa and West Bengal. I am not talking that in another area this problem or not, but these are the most prone areas. So where you will find that a number of NGOs are working, and no doubt there are a number of NGOs are paper tiger, they are not doing anything, but one NGO, they are really doing very nice. What they are doing after this rescue, when they have been rehabilitated, they have been sent to their families. So they are taking proper vigil that again there is a chance of re-trafficking, because there are a number of cases where you will find re-trafficking is taking place. They have been rescued by the state, there are a number of mechanisms are there, but they are again going to be re-trafficked. So actually when we see the factors behind that, so apart from this traditional factor of illiteracy and protective environments and unawareness, there are a number of new reasons have emerged, like transplantation of this organ transplant. and so-called marriage. Specifically, you will find that in Bihar and certain also in Hyderabad and another areas, women are being trafficked for the purpose of marriage. Sheikhs are bringing them that I have shown the marriage with you, and also in the border areas, this type of trafficking is taking place, specifically for the purpose of this so-called marriage. That's why I am calling it fake marriage. If they are, but the marriage has taken place, but actually marriage is not taking place, they will be sold to prostitution or for forced labor or other works. So meaning thereby you will find that these all problems are existing, and the victims are again going to be victimized. Actually what is happening when they have been rescued, the first time they have been victimized by these touts or the middleman, again they are going to be victimized by the society. Society is not going to accept, because they will say that these are the persons who have come from this prostitution home and other brothel home. So meaning thereby society is not going to accept. So that's why I am saying that she is going to be victimized by two ways. First, after trafficking, and after rescue, they are also going to be victimized by the society itself. Specifically the illiterate society, I am not talking about Delhi and Mumbai, but specifically in Bihar and Jharkhand, this is the prone area that is taking place. So actually when we see the reasons, so there are two vital reasons we are getting apart from this poverty and illiteracy. So how we will come out with this problem? No doubt there is a provision in CRPC 357, 357A and the other provision which is with regard to the compensation. But really adequate compensation is going to be given? That is a question. And they are not going to, the society is not going to accept such type of home. So actually we will have to see what are the actual reasons behind that. The root causes are there. So just because of paucity of time, that is a big topic, only I will suggest few suggestions I will suggest here. That first of all, this registration of the marriage, because Supreme Court in Seema versus Ashwani Kumar, a number of cases has said that there should be a compulsory registration of marriage. But in number of states, compulsory registration of marriage is not existing. And in the pretext of that, what is happening? Number of fake marriages are taking place, and the women are going to be misused. So that there should be a compulsory registration of marriage, and a specific law is required to be passed by the parliament. The second important thing is, specifically in the Bihar and Jharkhand, which is a very poor state, that in the name of placement there are certain agencies are working. We will give you a placement, come and you will be sent to Delhi and Mumbai and the good places, and you will be implied in that places. And they are unaccountable. There is no any proper mechanism to check that situation. So there should be a particular law with regard to that issue. And apart from that, the women who have been rescued, such type of women should be linked with certain programs like Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Yojana and other yojanas are there. So they may be implied. Otherwise, there is a high chance again they may be trafficked after rescue. So, and the another important thing is that specifically the minorities and very poor persons are trafficked general cases. So the religious persons can also play a role. Why I am talking that regarding this? Because India is a country where religion plays a very vital role. If the certain instruction will be given by the imams in Muslims or in Mutt that these are the situations which society is facing, you should take in a positive manner who has been rescued. So such versions or instruction which will be given by the religious person will be more comfortable for the downtrodden people, because most of the persons are illiterate. Whatever in the mosque imam will say or in Mutt or any particular pandit will say, they can grip it very positively. So to a large extent it can be minimized. So sensitization is very important so far as this victim is concerned and so far as the trafficking is concerned. Thank you very much.